Hello and welcome to the TMZ podcast. I'm Charlie Cotton.
I'm Charlie Neff.
And today we're talking Diddy. No surprise there.
Yep. First witness has taken the stand and had some crazy things to reveal.
We'll also talk about Kim Kardashian because she is, as we speak, on the stand testifying
in Paris over the robbery that happened, 9 years ago or so?
Yep.
And she's rehashing all of it and seems to be getting pretty emotional.
Also, we'll give you the latest on Tory Lanez because he was just stabbed 14 times.
Brutally beaten yesterday behind bars and is currently hospitalized.
We're going to remind you that we're live.
We are live. We are always live Monday through Friday in the morning around 7:40 a.m. Pacific time.
Mm-hmm.
And drop us your comments, you guys, because as you know, we get to the comments at the very end of the show. So anything you want to say about Diddy, Kim K, Tory Lanez, let us know. Or about us, about the podcast. Questions, comments, concerns, keep to yourself. I'm kidding.
So the Diddy trial really kicked off yesterday, and we've actually heard from two witnesses now.
Yes.
The first was a security guard.
Yep.
The security guard at the hotel where the Cassie incident went down.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, this guy was on the stand to basically say, he said that Diddy bribed him to keep it hush-hush, and then Diddy's attorneys...
But he turned it down, he says.
Right. And then Diddy's attorneys were saying that the money that was being offered was actually for a broken vase in the hotel room.
Interesting.
And so there was conjecture over, was it a bribe or was it just like a repayment? So he was the first witness. But then...
And for Diddy's side, they've kind of already set it up where they're trying to claim that the Cassie stuff, the physical violence, was mutual combat, that they both hit each other consistently and that, what you're seeing in that video is only one side of the story.
I don't like that defense.
Me either.
It's not an even fight.
No.
She's much younger, much smaller.
Yes.
Doesn't make any sense to me. But the guy who's currently on the stand, he's been testifying for a while, since yesterday.
Yep.
Is a male sex worker.
Yep.
Who Diddy directed in the freak-offs and, while pleasuring himself, allegedly. So the big thing from yesterday was the urination thing, because in my mind, and I think in maybe the jury's mind, it's one of the most degrading things you could conceive of.
Totally. And it also makes you think of other icky people like R. Kelly.
Yes.
That had a fascination with urinating on women. So basically this sex worker claimed that he was told to urinate in Cassie's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And that Cassie was choking from it. It just is so gross.
Yeah. And in your mind, I guess, is how can she be a willing participant in that? How can she...
But her side is saying she wasn't. She didn't want to do this. She was forced. She was, basically feared for her life if she didn't do stuff like this. But... Diddy's side is trying to say, oh, no, she was a willing participant. It's just, I don't know. I don't know anyone that would be down for that.
And I think that's why it's such an interesting point to kick off the trial.
Yeah.
Because I think most of us can't conceive of how someone would be A-okay, giving consent for some guy who she's only just met. You know what I mean? To be peeing in her mouth in front of a significant other. It's so hard for a normal person to wrap their head around how someone would be down with that.
And I get people have freaky fantasies, but if her side is the prosecution is saying this wasn't something she was down with, I kind of believe that.
And she's going to take the stand soon and say, I was not down with that. And of course, Diddy's lawyers are going to say, yes, you were. But I just think for a normal person on the jury, hearing that, you go, I don't believe that can be totally consensual.
Right.
She's telling me it's not consensual right now. I'm supposed to not believe her. And
by the way, when the sex worker took the stand, his kids had been in court. Apparently his two young daughters, Delilah and Jessie, they actually left during his testimony, during the sex worker's testimony. I guess maybe, I don't know if it's like to not, they knew what was coming, or, maybe they're just being shielded where it's like, you guys don't need to hear this. I mean, I'm glad they weren't there, but at the same time, like, the children have been so supportive of Diddy and his, like, innocence. I get it's their dad, but, like, do you think at any point they think, what if these things are true?
But I mean, most of what is said, probably sort of happened, but did it cross the line into crimes is what we're looking for. But these freak-offs, like, happened and freaky stuff happened there. That's why he called them freak-offs. Like, it's still, that is interesting that they left the courthouse for the bad stuff. Oh, but we'll return for, like, the pleasantries. That is interesting. Okay. Kim Kardashian, she is currently on the stand in Paris testifying about her robbery where these 10 supposed grandpas robbed her at gunpoint of more than $10 million worth of jewelry.
Yeah, she was recounting exactly what happened on the stand. She said that she truly thought she was going to die. That, they were ordering her, get on the bed, like, do all these things. And she's basically said, I thought I was going to be raped. She said that she was telling the robbers, I have children. I need to get back to my babies. Like, she kept telling them, I need to see my babies. And she felt like they were annoyed with her talking, but she was just trying to say, I mean, obviously you're thinking of your family in those last moments. They also asked her on the stand, like, oh, describe what these burglars look like, like physically, like their eye color, hair color. And she basically said, like, she couldn't recall what they look like because you're not thinking, like, you're not studying the robber. She said that she was just reflecting on her family in those moments because she thought these were her final moments. She was also scared that for Kourtney, because Kourtney was there with her in Paris, but Kourtney was gone away from the hotel room. She was worried about Kourtney coming back and finding Kim's dead body, like, on the bed or wherever, and then that would traumatize Kourtney for the rest of her life. So all these things are happening, going through her head during these final moments. It sounds extremely scary.
Yeah.
And we have heard her talk about this in the past. She's, like, talked about all of this, like, on the TV show and stuff. But I think, for it to be 9 years later reflecting, I imagine it's got to be really hard to reopen that wound.
Yeah, I agree. And hopefully a good way to look at it is just like a bookending of that chapter because, interestingly, she was wearing lots of jewelry to court. And obviously after she got robbed, she was like, oh, I'm not going to wear jewelry out and about. Certainly not flaunt it on social media because that's kind of what got me in this position in the first place. But now that it's over with, she is, leaning into her. And if she wants to wear jewelry, she's going to wear it.
Yeah. Do you think there's any weirdness between Kim getting robbed, in her words, almost died, but on the flip side, she's very much an advocate for people behind bars that, might have murdered someone to get an early prison release? Like, do you think that's contradictory?
I see what you're getting at, but no, I don't think it is. Because I think that she's, hand-picking the ones that she thinks deserve to be freed and, making the case with good reasoning. I don't think she thinks that these guys who robbed her, warrant an early release. But
so you don't find any hypocrisy? Because that's what I've seen a lot of people saying online. Like, oh, now she wants people punished because it happened to her.
No.
But all the other victims out there that don't want people freed, she doesn't listen to them, but wants everyone to listen to her.
But I mean, the people she's been freeing have been behind bars for ages and have, like, rehabilitated themselves. And
so you think it's justified?
I think so. I understand your point.
Yeah.
Okay, on to our final story. Tory Lanez stabbed 14 times.
Crazy story.
Lungs collapsed in a prison attack.
Yeah, so as you guys know, he's been behind bars. I think he's been behind bars for a couple years now.
Serving 10.
Yeah, serving 10. This is all over the Tory Lanez or the Megan Thee Stallion case, which I'm so curious what her thoughts are right now with this story out about him almost dying, honestly. Yeah. I mean, stabbed 14 times, his lungs collapsed. He was stabbed 7 times in the back, 4 times in his torso, twice in the back of the head, and once in the left side of his face. He was placed on a breathing apparatus, though we're told he's now breathing on his own. And his rep told us that he is in pain, but is talking normally. He's in good spirits, deeply thankful for God, to God for surviving, and he's thanking everyone out there who's supporting him.
That is nuts, man. That's nuts. Happened at 7:20 a.m. when you least suspect it. Around breakfast time.
When do you expect it?
I mean, maybe in the afternoon.
In the night when it's like dark.
Yeah, afternoon or night, but like
after you've had like a stressful day.
You're just getting the sleep out of your eyes.
But isn't there the phrase like, oh, you woke up wanting violence, or what is that phrase?
Woke up and chose violence.
Yes. I mean, that's literally this.
Do we know who did it and why? That would be interesting.
Yes, we do. We can't report it yet.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but we've gotten to the bottom of it.
Is it interesting or not that interesting?
I mean, prison fight.
Prison fight.
I think you can just guess.
All right, let's read out some of your comments.
All right, for the Diddy trial, Raquel Kirk said, what is the most shocking thing you guys took away from first day of Diddy's trial? The urination thing for me, I thought was a really gross headline.
Also, Diddy being really upset that there isn't enough baby oil being used.
Oh, right.
He was upset, like, we need more baby oil in here. It was like, damn, bro.
Also, I was listening on the radio this morning because I listen to the radio. There was a BBC reporter that's been going to the courthouse every day. She said that if Diddy doesn't know you as a reporter, that Diddy will be sitting in court, he'll turn and just stare at you.
Wow.
And it felt like for this reporter, almost like scary.
Intimidating.
Yeah, intimidating because like if he doesn't know what reporter you are, he just turns and like stares blatantly.
Wow.
So she was like, I've never experienced something like that before. I thought that was kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
Dirk Diggler said, if the lube was slick, you must have quit. Aradius Chaos said, I'm sure it wasn't the first segs worker either. Oh, no, there's going to be more, I'm sure.
Oh, there'll be so many.
Steph G said, Cassie broke up with Diddy at some point, but chose to go back to him. Why go back if you're being treated so badly? Regardless, no woman should be treated like that. I mean, we see a lot of abused women go back to their abuser. It's like a sick cycle.
Right, and he's got the money and the power and, the lifestyle. But behind closed doors, obviously, it wasn't all it sort of looked like it might be.
No.
But I can understand people going back to a terrible situation. I don't think that means that it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, and also he like held her career over her head, said if you leave me, your career is done. And really, as far as like music-wise, ever since she hasn't been with him, it is kind of true. She has taken a step back from the music scene. I don't know if that's because of Diddy or if it's like her choice, but he threatened her career.
And she loved him. I mean, she loved him.
Aww.
I mean, the crimes might have been committed, but that doesn't mean that she didn't love him at the time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Perry Wealth said, day 2 of gray hair. Yeah, he was wearing like a little vest yesterday too, or like a sweater thing.
So weird.
Yeah.
So
they don't want to see him as like a mogul.
No.
They want to present him as like a sad man. How could he ever do things like this? But he
spent his whole life trying to convince us that he is a mogul.
I know. Everyone thinks of Diddy. They think of like, the top hat and the suit.
Right. So I don't think we can like all of a sudden change. Oh, he's just a grandpa. It's just, I can't snap out of that.
Kim K, for the Kim K story, Kevin Murray said, I'm not a Kardashian fan, but no one deserves to be robbed. Like it or not, she's earned the things she has.
And she must just have trauma about it, especially when she travels.
I can't imagine. I mean, even like something that us normies face, like even just getting in a car accident, that can be traumatizing where you're like, you don't want to get in that same car.
Right.
You are scared of driving. Like it affects, like it's a chain reaction that affects you the rest of your life. I can't imagine like thinking of almost dying from like someone at gunpoint. Oh, that would be so hard to move on from.
She's dealing with the Kanye situation.
Oh, God.
I don't know that I would trade places with Kim Kardashian. Like,
I wouldn't right now.
I wouldn't.
Not right now. Maybe during Met Gala week.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Michelle said, hold up, she's helping people that are wrongly convicted. Well, yeah, that's what she says. But there's victims on the other side that have spoken out against Kim, saying that she's doing more harm. For the Tory Lanez story, Marcy P said, it's sad to say, but that stuff happens all the time in prison. I'm just happy he's okay.
Right. Gets a bit of time out of the pen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oof. A couple other comments from you guys. Rory said, hello from Tasmania.
Do you know where Tasmania is?
Africa?
Oh, my God.
Is it?
Have you heard of the Tasmanian devil?
Yes. Oh, is it Australia?
Yes.
Wow, we have so many Australian fans watching.
It's late there, too.
Listening.
Late.
Like what time?
Probably the middle of the night. It's probably about midnight.
Oh, okay.
So thank you, Rory. Wow.
Thank you, Rory.
Appreciate that.
Justin said, Charlie said a vase, not vase. What is a vase?
We say vase, you say vase.
Yeah.
You say vase?
Vase, yeah.
We say vase.
Vase.
There's a lot of different ones. Oh, my kid right now calls me stupid. And I'm like, it's stupid. I'm stupid. Thank you.
Oh, she's got like a little LA accent.
Yeah,
stupid.
Banana.
Banana.
It's banana. I said, it's banana.
Does she have an accent at all?
Some people say she does. I can't hear it. Like, I think she says a few things like her dad, but mostly American.
Does she eat Vegemite?
She doesn't, but my baby does because she's too little to say no.
Oh, cutie. You have the cutest kids.
Thank you.
Thanks because of Aaron.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Not you. Someone said, every live I catch is with Cotton and some other person. This is the first one I've caught with Neff.
You're busy in the mornings. You are very busy.
I am. So sometimes like I can't come in the morning because I'm obviously working on the news desk. So if like big stuff is breaking, I'm not able to come over here. But also like lately I've been out because I was moving. But that is all done now, knock on wood. We're going to be listing my condo for sale on Thursday.
If you're out there, anyone interested?
Everyone want a condo? Yeah. Let me know.
Oh, God, but if those walls could talk. The cat pee must be so hard to get out of your
my cats are not crazy.
Okay.
They're not just peeing all over. They're little dainty, sweet.
Your husband, on the other hand, peed all around the place.
You know what? Maybe not pee, but peanut butter you'll find in every nook and cranny.
Ada says, Charlie Cotton, you always let the staff beat you down. Cut that out, dude. You kick ass. You're funny. You do a great job getting stories.
Why are you
Thank
yelling?
You, Ada. Thank you, Ada. Finally, some respect.
Ada, why?
All right. Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie.
And we'll see you guys here tomorrow.
Bye.